Hey everyone, welcome to the daily analysis for GBP JPY, April 23rd, 2009. The time is currently 9:07 GMT. Looking at a daily chart of GBP JPY, the channel is still up and we did yesterday briefly break below it. Possibly a head fake, possibly just market taking a little bit more time. Time will tell, so we gotta kind of play it by ear right now. CCI wise, the same trend line I had yesterday and the day before. You can see we're still approaching it, still curving, still possibly preparing for a bounce to continue lower. That's pretty much all that's going on the daily chart. Not a whole lot. We had the bearish break earlier this week, the retest. Yesterday we moved back down, a bearish candle, and today we moved down slightly, but we're not able to make a new low yet. So going to the 4-hour chart, here we have this CCI trend line, which may or may not really be that effective. There's still room for the 4-hour candle to move down and the CCI to move below it. I would probably not trade a break of this trend line right here, just because we've already been on a bounce of close to 225 pips. More importantly, I am looking at this trend line up here. That's about it. We have 4 consecutive lower highs and still pending the fourth. 3 confirmed, but 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, lower high, and possibly lower high right here. And then you obviously have lower lows, and we posted a low of yesterday at 140.57. Just before the London markets opened, we did have a bullish engulfing candle, although it didn't take out the range of this candle. So this candle is kind of important. The high of this candle was the opening price at 143.50, and so far we've made it up to 143.38. So we haven't been able to break the high of this candle. For those of you that follow Furious Angel's method of trading, this would be what you consider a master candle. Simply because the high and the low range, we have 4 successive candles that are within this one candle's range. So using that method, you'd be looking to go long on a break of 143.50 or short on a break of 140.57. So this is the lower trend line right here. This is the daily channel. I am looking for a break of this again. We did break down, but we closed above it, and then we kind of meandered below it. And then just before the London session, we did have some bullish pound, or just buying of the British pound. But we still haven't been able to move much higher. Horizontal support-wise, we still have the 145, 145.70 area to keep an eye out on. On the downside, for the CCI on the 4-hour, that's your trend line. It would probably correlate with a break of 141, 149, 140.95. So keep an eye out for that. It's a little bit ways away. Moving down to the 1-hour chart. Here, CCI, there's no really good trend line. I mean, you could connect these 2 highs up, or these 3 highs actually up here, but I wouldn't be buying if we broke above and we were in the extreme levels. So that's a trend line I'm not going to really be paying attention to. A few hours ago, obviously, they correlated with the this massive bullish rise. There was a trend line break that you could have traded. Entry would have been here, or a late entry on a break of this high at 142.32, or the early entry at 141.75. On the downside, again, on the hourly chart, there's no really solid direction. The closest trend line you could have is here. The reason I say that is because many of you might be looking at something like this, And while that may give you a temporary, short-term trade, currently about 20 pips, there's no really good point where you can draw this trend line and the CCI bounces off this trend line. And that's mainly due because this trend line is just so steep. Um, the CCI or this candle and the CCI would have had to pretty much gone up to, 250 or maybe even 300, just because it would have had to beat the steepness, if you will, uh, of this trend line. So we might see a little retracement here, but trend line wise on the hourly chart, we don't have a lot going on. So here's this trend line. We got lower highs and we do have lower lows, so keeping an eye on that. Um, a little bit of a head fake. Uh, to me, it seems like the market isn't quite prepared to go lower. It knows that it is going lower, but it seems like it was kind of a shock. Um, that's just kind of speculation talking out of my mouth, so don't really listen to that. Um, so here, again, the short at 140, 140, it worked out and it didn't work out. Um, it did retrace quite a bit, and then, uh, well, actually, when it broke, and we were 80 pips in profit rather immediately. So if you closed out with 50 pips, good for you. I, on the other hand, did not, and I waited, and then we failed to break later in the day, and obviously we're back up in just below 143. So I am going to be taking another short on a break of 140.52, which also correlates with a um, this low over here. So I'm actually going to make it 140.50. So just make it a nice round even number. So 140.50, I am going to be going short. Stop losses, I use stop losses that are above recent highs. Um, so if this ends up being the high at 143.38, my stop loss will probably be around 143.50. And then as time goes on and we have new swing highs that are lower, I can adjust that stop loss. Um, on the downside, I am looking at the first target towards 135.70. Take profit will probably be closer to 136.50, 137. At least partial take profit and lock in and let it ride. After 135, there's the 131 level. Um, on the upside, if we do manage to break this descending trend line, uh, I don't really see a good entry unless you're trading off of this master candle right here. And then take profit, I would only be looking for about 100 pips. Um, this is still a really strong 145 level, and I'm still biased on the downside just because of the daily candles the last couple days. So pay attention to where the daily candle closes today. If we can get a close below 142, I would say that the bears should gather quite a bit of strength coming into Thursday's trading. So keep an eye on support and resistance, candles that form, support and resistance trend lines like this. You can see it's guiding prices, it's moving lower. Trend lines, support and resistance, candles. Look for the reversal signals and make sure you have a safe trading day. See you tomorrow.